folks, welcome to Ideas of India. And today I have another special guest. She happens to be a junior from BITS Pilani. And I really love how they have gone about building their business. So, Aditi, co founder of Local, which is a geospatial tech company. They're a very young company, but if you go to LinkedIn or if you go to Aditi's Medium, you would just realize so much. There is just so much new information about this entirely new area of geospatial technology, right? So, thank you, Aditi, for coming on the show and really love what you're doing at Local.
Thank you, Aditya. Nice to meet you and a pleasure to be here.
That's right. So, Aditi, I had a few questions about your journey, right? One of course is you went to BITS and you did your major in economics and finance.
Yeah.
Most of the folks I know actually go on to do an engineering degree as well. So, why was that, right? Like, what stopped you from spending another year at Pilani or doing a major in an engineering area?
Yeah, I think the reason for that definitely was not that I want to spend one less year in Pilani. I would have loved to spend one more year in Pilani, but I think that decision kind of came from my past experience, right? I had to prepare for JEE for for like my past 2 years before coming to college, right? And I realized that this is something that I don't want to do, honestly. And it was a really hard time for me, right? It was a slog. And that's when I think I got this one thing about myself, and I learned this thing about myself, that I cannot do something that I'm not enjoying. Like, there are a lot of people who are able to do that, but I am not the kind of person who can do that, right? Um, so I got into BITS, thankfully. And I just, I love the campus, I love the culture, I read a lot about it. And then I realized, okay, eco seems to be a really good option. One is because I've always wanted to study it. I used to study it a bit here and there, but I really wanted to sort of deep dive into it. And secondly, because I wanted to give myself a year to explore and figure out what it is that I want to do, right? So yeah, and I took eco. And whenever I tell people that I studied economics from BITS, and the first thing that I hear is, BITS mein eco bhi hota hai kya? So yeah, of course, BITS is definitely not famous for eco. And I did not even expect it to be. But what I wanted to get out of my college life was to actually figure out what it is that I want to do in life, right? If that makes sense.
No, that totally makes sense, right? Like, I think a lot of people go to college just to sort of, and in last year you are like, hey, acha, I need to figure my stuff out. But
Right.
I totally get, right? Like those 4 years is a journey of self-discovery. If you could figure out
Right.
what you like, that could be really good. Another thing that, when I looked at your LinkedIn that you have done, unlike most other folks, is taken on a lot of small projects through the college, right? Right at the end of
Right.
your first year, or even between the gaps between two sems, you did a lot of projects. One, I saw that you did something at ISB studying
Right.
about the Dodd-Frank
Right, right, yeah.
policy. What
Yes.
was that like?
Yes, so I think that all of these things that I did was a sort of a quest to go in that direction, right? So I tried a bunch of things, right? I remember in my second year, I went like hardcore into research.
Hmm.
Then in my third year, I went hardcore into public policy. So I think that was just me trying to, like, just figure out what it is that I want to do, right? Some people just know it from like like from their school life, right, or from their college life. But I just realized that for me to figure out what I want to do, I have to try out different things,
Hmm.
right? So a lot of it was just an amalgamation of trying out different things, just figuring out what to do. It's if just something just seemed interesting, I would just jump into that opportunity, right? I think the way I viewed my college was, like, just don't say to anything no to anything which is interesting, right? Because you never know what might actually come out of it, right? The skills that you would develop, if not then it will just come handy at some other moment of your life, right? So I sort of tried to always utilize my life, right? So my time in college. So because I was eco, I had a very very chill semester, right? I had like 15 hours in a week. So I had a lot of free time to do musty, and to also, like, take up other things as well, right? So I remember, I would take up like work from home internships at that moment. In my vacations, I would go and sort of do internships everywhere. So yeah, it was just me trying to find myself, for a lack of a better word.
No, that makes sense, right? So I was triply, and our CDC third year was like
Right.
crazy. So yeah, kind of jealous that you got so much time.
Yeah, I know. My Triple E friends were so jealous of me all the time, and because I was only eco, right?
Makes sense.
Yeah.
And I think one of the other interesting things that you did in college was business development for Hyperloop India, right? And a lot of
Yeah.
folks don't know, but there was this whole competition going on,
Yep.
Hyperloop Global competition, 2000 teams
Yes.
competing, and you were representing India. Uh, what
Yes.
exactly you guys did there, right? Like right from what was that about?
So Hyperloop, basically, the team in Bits comprised of two teams. One was the team which was focused only on core engineering, building a smaller version of the Hyperloop pod, right? On the other hand, there were some folks who were working in the business development team who had to sort of build a case study to these folks who were conducting the competition, right? So it was called Hyperloop One Global Challenge, and the idea was, there was this company Hyperloop One, and they were figuring out what would be the right countries for them to actually sort of build the Hyperloop in,
Hmm.
right? So we sort of represented India in the sense that we had to build a case that India is the perfect opportunity to build it, right? So we had to sort of propose what would be the top routes where Hyperloop should be there. What would be the kind of partnerships that we would need? Who would be the kind of right stakeholders? So we worked with the government, this body in the government called Rights. Worked with a lot of different stakeholders, right? And then we proposed this case study. So we went into the semi-finals, but then one of the reasons why we could not win the finals was because, in my opinion, we felt that the government could have been much more involved than as compared to the other countries, because we were merely a student team, right? But the other countries who were taking a part, they were actually from very big corporations, governments, all of those combined. But yeah, I mean, it was pretty cool that we went into the semi-finals.
Got it. But is there a Hyperloop happening in India? I think Mumbai, Pune, is that the route they're exploring? Something is happening, right?
I think they are exploring, they are studying it, but I don't see it happening anytime soon in the near future. So let's see. I mean, fingers crossed.
Got it. So what happened after you graduated from college? 2018, I guess, is when
Right.
happened. Then what
So
was your...
in this, as you would know, we have to do either a PS or a thesis in our final year. So I again did kind of a smart thing, because that's what I wanted to do. I took up an internship in this company called Social Crops in
Mhm.
my final year, right? And I sort of played it as a thesis. Um, so yeah, I mean, I spent like 6 months. It seemed to be a very, very interesting company because they were again at this blend of, um, let's say, data, economics, policy, right? So all of those things that I was really passionate about at that moment. And I love those 6 months, right? It just helped me understand so many things of working in a startup, what it takes to actually build a startup, along with so many things that I learned about work. And one of the good things about working over there was because it's a startup, right? They don't, I mean, generally startups don't treat employee interns as their as an actual intern, right? You're supposed to do a lot of stuff like an actual employee. So within my 3 weeks of working over there, I was supposed to interact with the clients, with stakeholders, right? Which was pretty cool. So I picked up a bunch of skills at that time, right? And which came in very handy after that. So I actually just did like 6 months of full time over there. So I converted my internship to a full time role since from June, yeah, from June onwards, right? And I only worked there as a full time from June up till like November, December, and that's when we sort of quit our jobs to start up with Locale. So yeah, I mean, I had very little experience, but I try to make the most of it over there.
Correct. No, and how did Local came about, right? Before that, I just a quick comment, right? Like I did try to start up after my graduation from BITS, and I was like unprepared. Like I did not know any,
Right.
I did not know my shit. So, and it took me a while to really understand how companies are built or even how ideas are evaluated. but you guys have really moved quickly into very technical, I mean, sometimes I don't even get what you write on LinkedIn, to be very frank. But how did that, and you are like economics major, how
Right.
did this, hardcore tech company come about, the idea come about?
So I think everything that we're doing at Locale has very little to do with what I studied,
Hmm.
but more to do with the kind of skills I picked up.
Hmm.
The skills such as, how do you actually learn, right? How do you learn quickly? And that's not just about the work that you're doing, because if you're building a company, I think one of the most important skills of a leader is that you need to know how you learn and how you can learn the most quickly, right? Um, so yeah, I mean, if you talk about me, right, I barely knew anything, right, when we started up. But I think like we were really fortunate. I was really fortunate to get a good co-founder. So thankfully, in my case, my co-founder Rishabh had like about like 4 years of experience working with this kind of technology. So
Hmm.
from the technology side, we were still sorted. But like we were fortunate enough to like get those mentors who would sort of teach us, literally, right? Teach us how to do investor conversations, teach us how to do client conversations. Even now, right, all of our mentors work very, very closely with us.
Correct.
So yeah, I mean, I think it's a combination of both. You need to learn very quickly, and you need to find the right people who can teach you,
Correct.
right?
Makes sense.
um yeah,
How,
so
how
and,
did
and
you
I
and
think you
Rishabh, how did you and Rishabh meet? If he's more senior.
Yeah, of course. So that's a conversation of how Locale actually started, because that's how we met as well. So we were friends actually. So he also used to work in the same company, Social Corps, that I sort of got my job in. But he had a very interesting story. So he started working over there full time from his second year onwards.
Hmm.
So he went to a university in Delhi, but he really didn't go to college, right? So he just went to give his exams, and sort of over time he sort of got so much experience, right? Which was very funny, because when I met him, we were kind of the same age, and he had like 4 more years of experience than me, right? But yeah, we became very good friends working over there. And like we always used to sort of brainstorm of on like the kind of problems that we are seeing. And because at that time we were working with so many different kinds of clients, right? It was a data consultancy company, so we always talked about what are the problems, right, that we are facing. But I think the idea actually came in when we were working on different projects together, and we saw that there was a pattern, right? And that's when you find this pattern, I think you should hold on to these patterns, because when you see a pattern, like that means it's a problem that a lot of people are facing,
Hmm.
right? The pattern was that, number one, we did not have the right tools to work with geolocation data,
Hmm.
right? Because we were solving problems for different companies again and again. We did not have a tool that we could just pick off from the market, right, off the shelf. So over time we had to build something internally, but this internal product that we had built, we sort of started using this for every problem that we were solving,
Hmm.
right? Whenever, like, operations or location, all of those kind of projects were concerned, right? And that's why we saw that if all companies are collecting so much more location data now, and if there are so many problems that can be solved with good location data and visibility of what's happening in different locations, we saw that like there are no good tools in the market, and these companies either have, like, they have like they're hooking up, like, like, let's say, open source tools or something internally that they're using, or they are coming to like consultancy companies like us, for example, to solve their problems. So that was, I would say, the seed of the idea, that this internal tool that we had built over there, can we build a platform like that to help, like, companies just make sense of their location data,
Correct.
right? So yeah, I mean, that's how it started. But of course, like, after that, so many things happened, so much research went to it.
Correct.
But that's how
So
it happened.
this was what, 2019 end
Yes,
or
yes.
2000?
2019 end, yes. So 2019 and 2020 start was when we sort of, quit our jobs finally. We put our papers and we were like, okay, let's go to Bangalore and figure this shit out.
And how has been the last 12 odd months, right? Like ton of things happened. I'm sure a lot of people stopped getting location data also.
Yeah, I mean it's hard to like sum up those 2 years in a line or in a word or in a paragraph, right? You would relate to it, right? Because every day is like an adventure. Every day brings with itself a new kind of problems that needs to be solved. But yeah, I mean it's definitely been crazy,
Mm.
right? I don't know what word should I use, but maybe I can divide it into three parts, right? So one thing is, let's say, from a personal perspective, right? I think like I think the thing that starting up teaches you the most, in my opinion, is how do you bounce back after problem after problem, and how do you do that like so quickly, right? um अच्छा ये फट गया कोई नहीं, like you will sort of, let's say, cry for some time, and then you like, okay, let's move to a new problem and let's figure out how to solve it, right? The actual sort of figuring out and all of those things happen, as I mentioned, right? You will figure it out, but how do you not let things affect you? I think that has been one of the biggest learnings for me, right? I think I still have a lot to do on that part, but I'm trying to get there. So yeah, from a personal perspective, I think starting off after college is very difficult, but I think it's also very crazy because you know, you're at that phase in your life when you have a lot of energy, you don't have a lot of responsibility, so it's a good time to experiment, right? And we thought of this as an experiment when we started. Honestly, we did not even know that we would last for 2 years, right? um, from a company point of view, I think again we have come a long way. When we started, we just knew that this is a problem, and a very like sort of, you know, like an idea of like what is it that we should build, right? But from there on to sort of I have iterated so many times with so many companies and then sort of build a product. I think that has also been another journey of its own. So but yeah, I mean, is there anything particular that you want me to like talk about these past 2 years?
No, so one of the interesting things, and I saw your tweet yesterday about, somebody leaving and hiring
Yeah.
is a big challenge as a young
Yes.
folks, I mean, young founder, I'm guessing, right? And especially as a woman in tech, right? Like, I really love your confidence, by the way. And, one of the things that Stoa within our cohort, uh, what I've seen is, especially because the ratio is such, I mean, so skewed, right? People always feel like they have some sort of imposter syndrome and this and that, right? Like, so how do you manage this hiring as a young founder, and like when you're looking at building your team, like how do you see women in general in tech, right? Like how should they approach the industry? How do they build their confidence?
Right.
Two very separate questions, by the way, and I know
Yeah,
very heavy questions.
they are two different questions, and I think the second one is a very, very deeper. It's a very deep question, right? More so because this comes from my experience, right? I used to think that honestly, gender should not even be a point in discussion, right? But I think over the past year or so, I mean, since we started up, right, I started noticing how gender plays such an important role. um but yeah, I mean, yeah, we'll come back to that, but let's start with the hiring part. I think um so when we started up with this company, right, I think both me and Rishabh, we had sort of a vision of how we want this company to be like. And I know that's easy to say at this moment because we are an early stage company, and building culture in an early stage company is fairly easy as compared to how, like, you know, when the company scales up, right? But we you know, we had a discussion, and we sort of, both of us, we made sure that, you know, we'll always make sure that we don't fuck up our culture, right? And sort of we're proud to have built that culture, where, you know, people love to come to work every day, right? I mean, we feel that it's not the same in the remote world, but that's a different story. So I think hiring is a problem that cannot be solved in a day.
Mm.
It's like, it's like building a brand, right? It's like efforts sort of compounded over time, right? So I can tell you some of the things that worked for us. And it was easier for me in this case was because I love to write.
Hmm.
So I used to write a lot initially, right? Just random things about my journey, my experiences, the things I thought were wrong that I needed to challenge, my learnings, right? So just having to like start with that sort of, a lot of people started just reaching out saying that, hey, I resonate with what you're saying, I would love to sort of work with you, right? So one part is definitely that, right? Because one thing I realized is, if you need to attract people who are like you need to sort of make sure that your message reaches out to them,
Hmm.
right? So if, let's say, we are writing about the things that we are passionate about, someone who is also passionate about it will read it and will reach out to you, right? But of course that does not happen in the very early days. So in the very early days, you won't believe what we used to do. I used to sit, I remember, like, those late night where I would just message every engineer that I could come across and tell them about Locale, right? So that, but we had to do that for not like a lot of time, like initial, I would say, a couple of months. But like, slowly, with like our writing and our content and our product and everything coming together, we started getting a lot of inbounds directly,
Correct.
right? So now whenever I post a job opening, I don't have to like put any now that the problem that we have is, how do we filter resumes and how do we filter out our tasks, right? So I think, just like anything, the initial part of it is just like slogging, honestly. But over time, you have to build that engine that lets you sort of, get these people on their own and not having to, do uh, go very, very manual, I would say. Does
Correct.
that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, makes sense. Makes sense, right? Now coming to the second question that
Yeah.
we left in the air.
Yes. The second question is a very complicated question. I think, if you're a woman, right? Um, firstly, I would say, just don't be scared of anything. I think there are plenty of people in the ecosystem who will try to pull you down, right? In every way possible. Um, I am telling this with respect to um, meeting investors, meeting clients, right? A lot of people like I have met over the past 2 years who will really pull you down. But I think, which is why I empathize emphasize so much about mentors, right? Because I think sometimes what you just need is someone who will believe in you,
Hmm.
and who will go the extra mile to help you out, right? So fortunately, again, we've been blessed to have a lot of people like that in our journey, who really, really helped us when we needed their help. And um, and like, if and there will be a lot of times when you won't have those people, right? But then you have to do it for yourself, right? um I think, and like, what frustrates me the most, and honestly, I don't have a solution for this, because I am personally facing and experiencing those things myself, is that the way our society is designed, right? We don't expect a lot of out of from our women,
Hmm.
right? um I think the benchmark for success for a woman today is just to sort of get a good job, which is good enough for you to get married and have kids. I know it's funny, but it's the truth, right? Um, but I think, uh, and what has been working for me till now is, just explain it to people who are important to you. Tell them that this is something which you are really passionate about, and just go do it, right? Like, um I think I don't believe in generic advice, Aditya, because it doesn't mean anything, right? I mean today I can tell you that, like, uh be confident, or I don't know, right? Like some random stuff that does not make sense, right? But I think my only advice is, just go and do it, right? You will face so many challenges, but if you reach out to the right people with the exact challenges that you're facing, you'll have so many people who are there to help you out, right? Like, for example, you saw with the tweet, uh, an engineer left our company, and I reached out to people for help, and so many people helped us, right? We have so many resumes now, right? um, but having said that, I think women have a lot of superpowers, right? In general, as compared to men, right? Their ability to empathize, their ability to ask for help, their ability to be humble, right? All of those things, I feel that, women are so much better than men at, right? So yeah, I mean, like if you're a woman, if you're listening to this, just go ahead and start, and just know that, like there is nothing that can stop you if you really want to do it. And if you think I can help you out in any way possible, just feel free to reach out to me. um I have been so, like one of my main focus has been to sort of hire women engineers. So if, yeah, I mean, if you are a woman engineer, please like feel free to contact us, and I would love to work with you.
Sure. Thank you, Aditi, for those words of advice. I really agree that, a lot of this is contextual, but, you know, I mean, I just feel in general, right, when people feel that, hey, like I don't have the skill, so this, most of the time, it's just information asymmetry, right? You don't know
Right,
what
right.
what others are doing, or the person on the other side, what he is thinking about you, or whatever. Anyway, thank you, Aditi, for coming on the show. I really loved this conversation, and I'm going to send few of the Stoa folks along here, like to just talk to you.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, I would love to speak with them. And yeah, I mean, I had a lovely time chatting too. And I think I want to speak about these issues more and more, right? Sometimes I don't have enough bandwidth, but with time, I think we should do something about these things, right? How do we get more people, more women in tech? How do we get better women engineers? Why are there no, like why are there so less women entrepreneurs, right? There's so many problems that need to be solved. So yeah, I mean, we should sort of like figure those out together and brainstorm on how we can make this happen.
sure, Aditi. Thank you for tuning in.
Take care.
Thank you, folks.